All right, let's talk solar system efficiency. When you install a 5 kilowatt system, it feels like you should be getting 5 kilowatts of power, right? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see where that power really goes, and why understanding this is absolutely critical for your system's health and, believe it or not, your safety.
So let's set the scene. You did it. The panels are up on the roof, the inverter's humming on the wall. You've got yourself a shiny new 5 kilowatt solar system all ready to power your life. And that means you've got 5 kilowatts on tap to run everything in your house, doesn't it? I mean, it's right there in the name. Makes sense?
Yeah, the hard reality is you're getting a lot less. And figuring out where all that power just vanishes is one of the most important things you can do for a safe and truly effective system. So let's kick things off by just completely busting what I call the 5 kilowatt myth. This idea that the number you see on the box is the same number you're going to get at the outlet. The best way to think about it is that your electricity is going on a journey. It starts its life in the solar panels, sure, but before it can power your coffee maker, it has to pass through a whole series of checkpoints. And at every single stop, a little bit of that energy gets, well, let's call it a handling fee. It gets stolen. And that brings us to this really crucial idea that I call the chain of losses. Because your system's efficiency isn't just one number, it's actually a whole series of cascading deductions that add up fast. So let's just walk through the journey. Power flows from your panels into the charge controller. Let's say it's a decent one, 95% efficient. Boom, that's a 5% loss right off the top. Then that power moves into your battery. But charging and discharging is never a perfect one-to-one process. So you lose maybe another 10% right there. And finally, it has to go through the inverter to become the AC power your house uses. And even a good inverter will lose about 8%. You see how this works? Every single step takes its cut.
And that quote just nails it, right? Your system's real-world performance has almost nothing to do with any single component by itself. It's all about how strong that entire chain is from the first link to the last.
So, the big question is, how do we actually calculate the real number? This is where a lot of people go wrong. See, it's not about adding things up, it's about multiplying them down, and trust me, the difference is huge. You never ever add the efficiencies together. I mean, look, if you did, you'd get some crazy impossible number way over 100%. The key thing to burn into your brain is that each loss compounds the one before it. You have to multiply the efficiencies of each component to figure out what actually survives the trip.
And here it is, the formula for what we call total system efficiency. You just take the efficiency of your controller, multiply that by the efficiency of your battery, and multiply that by the efficiency of your inverter. Simple as that.
Okay, so let's plug in the numbers from our little example system. We've got 0.95 for our controller. We'll multiply that by 0.90 for the battery, and then times 0.92 for our inverter. And the answer is just 78.7%. Wow. Let that sink in for a second. Over 21% of the power your panels generated is just gone. It has vanished into thin air before you could even use a single watt. That is a massive drop from those shiny 90+% numbers you see on the component boxes.
And seeing it laid out like this really drives it home, doesn't it? Your 5,000-watt system is actually only giving you, on a good day, around 33 watts of power you can actually use. That's more than 1,000 watts that have just disappeared from the system. So, where did that 1,000+ watts go? It didn't just blink out of existence. The answer is actually pretty simple, and honestly, it's the most dangerous part of having an inefficient system. That's right. Every single watt of that lost energy gets converted directly into heat. We're talking heat radiating off your charge controller, off your inverter, your batteries, even your wiring is getting warmer because of it.
And this is precisely why all this math matters so much. That heat isn't just waste, it's an active threat. It slowly cooks your expensive components, shortening their lifespan. It can cause your inverter to overheat and shut down right when you need power the most. And if your wiring isn't properly sized for the job, well, that heat can become a legitimate fire hazard.
Okay, so now that we know all this, how do we actually design a system for the real world, and not just for what it says on a spec sheet? It really all comes down to being smart and planning for these losses right from the very beginning.
Here's a quick checklist to get you started. First, spend a little extra on high-efficiency components. That small price difference pays for itself in the long run. Second, try to minimize how many times you're converting power from AC to DC and back again. Every conversion is a loss.
Third, and this is a big one, use properly sized cables to handle the real current. And finally, and most importantly, base all your plans and your load calculations on the real usable output we just calculated, not the sticker rating.
So just remember this key takeaway. A 5 kilowatt system on paper is basically an advertisement, but a 3.9 kilowatt system that you've calculated for reality, now that is a tool you can actually rely on. You have to know the difference.
Look, at the end of the day, the only power that matters is the power that actually survives that long journey from your roof to your wall outlet. The real question isn't about what you bought, it's about what you're actually getting. Have you done the math on yours?